Good morning or good afternoon. This is Mike Bell with SOS Online Backup. Thank you for joining us. We still have more people. Hello, this is Mike Bell. I'm the president of SOS Online Backup. I'm here today with Ken Shaw, the CEO and founder of SOS Online Backup, and we want to thank you for your time today. This webinar is focused on generating revenue and online backup. So the topics we're going to cover very briefly is an overview of SOS. We're going to provide some backup information on the data recovery industry and an overview of the industry. Talk a little bit about traditional backup and data recovery solutions. Talk about our technology. And then most of the presentation is going to be focused on the SOS partner model. And the real focus of the agenda is how VARs, MSPs, and IT providers can build a profitable backup revenue stream. This presentation is targeted towards MSPs, VARs, and IT resellers. If this is not you, we're still glad to have you. But this presentation is going to be very, very focused upon this subject matter. To dive right into it, we're going to talk about the backup industry as a whole, but first let us tell you who we are as SOS. We're widely known as having the best-of-breed technology. Our technology is award-winning. We are a recurring Editor's Choice winner from multiple sources, including PC Magazine, Laptop, Editor's Choice, etc. One of the most important points of the company is how we're different. And we're different in that we are a provider of online backup as a platform. And what that means is our sole business focus is to power hundreds of resellers. So we have designed the company from inception to be a provider of online backup platform. As a company, we occupy a global presence. We have 4 strategic locations worldwide. There are approximately 180 employees worldwide. And we've got almost 3 million customers with over 10 million PCs on our grid. The company's enjoying terrific growth right now, triple-digit rate of growth, and that is one of many indicators of the market opportunity that we're going to present to you today. In terms of a focus, SOS Online Backup is particularly focused on the small to medium-sized business market. Okay, we're not particularly active with consumers, nor do we focus on Fortune 1000 customers. But where we do focus and where we are positioned as a great solution is within the very large, small to medium-sized business market. Generally, IT professionals prefer the configurability of our application. It's particularly when it's compared against the dumb agents used by some of our more consumer-focused competitors. Our application is high quality, low cost, quick to deploy, and very top rated, and we're going to show you more about that later in the presentation. The move to online backup is underway and it's rapid, but to back up and take a look at the overall market, we estimate the backup market in its entirety is in excess of $10 billion annually. Now, that number, that $10 billion, is comprised of solutions that span hardware, software, services, etc. But within this segment, a dramatic shift is underway from these traditional solutions. And the online backup component of that market is right now approximately $1 billion a year. That leaves about $9 billion per year between SMB split and within software, hardware, services, etc. This shift towards online backup and the overall growth of this industry allows our partners to be very well positioned to take advantage of what's going on. And what's going on is a very rapid adoption of online backup. It's the fastest growing market segment within this overall industry. And just one other data point on this segment is that the consumer segment of this alone is projected to reach $715 million by next year. So there's a groundswell of growth going on with online backup, and this graphic here gives you an illustration of that. We believe that approximately 10% of the market has so far adopted online backup. So the adoption curve is still early on in its phase. Traditional backup is very steadily and very rapidly being displaced by online backup. And the reasons for that are very straightforward. Your data is more secure, the restores are much more functional, online backup is easier to implement, and fundamentally it's less expensive. So it's a classic adoption curve driven by fundamentally better technology. But it's also being driven by the explosion of data in our world. And this applies to both end-use consumers as well as to businesses. And it's being fueled by not only the growth of data in business-type applications, but also video, music, JPEGs, MPEGs, etc. What we're projecting is a 10x growth in 5 years in the use of data between 2006 and 2011. So the amount of digital information being produced in this world is one of the fundamental drivers of online backup growth. Also being driven by the overall SaaS megatrend, cloud computing. The cost savings and higher performance associated with SaaS offerings. Also, the proliferation of distributed data, particularly user-generated data. It's no longer centered in silos and in company servers. Data is being created and maintained and accessed with mobile devices anywhere, anytime. And there's obviously a tremendous growth in both the business segment as well as the consumer segment in data production. The traditional backup technology landscape. Let's look at 3 segments: consumers, SMB, and enterprise. Many consumers often feature no backup solution. A lot of consumers, frankly, will forego online backup, know that they need it, but just simply don't take the time or energy to do it. SMBs, the vast majority of them are relying on tape backup. Obviously, that technology we're going to talk about in a second is rapidly being displaced. And a large opportunity we see with enterprise customers is they often have no laptop or branch office solution. They may have their servers, their enterprise servers backed up, but outside of the office location, oftentimes hard drives, computers, laptops are outside of that data backup universe.
Yeah, and just one comment I would add on that is that in terms of the architecture solutions which have traditionally been adopted in these different horizontals, in both SMB and enterprise, we've seen a similar pattern, which has been a 3-way approach to backup built around a joint hardware, software, services solution. So usually it's essentially structured or centrally architected backup regime, usually around a large tape array. Typically, that's been the vast majority of backup solutions out there have been architected around tape over the last 2 decades. What we're going to see probably, I think, in the next slide, or perhaps in a subsequent slide, is the goal of online backup and SOS in particular is to take those same 3 elements of hardware, software, and services and abstract them away into one software as a service, cloud-based solution that's simple to deploy, simple to manage, simple to use, and has a dramatically lower total cost of ownership than some of these traditional technologies that have been deployed in the SMB and enterprise space.
This slide illustrates the traditional problems and solutions for your customers as they exist with tape backup and how that's compared to online backup. Tape backup very typically requires an IT staff in-house. It covers laptops, branch offices. Well, it covers centralized data, but laptops, branch offices, and distributed user data is very often excluded from that backup universe. Physical media must be carried off-site. It's often slow and difficult, subject to failure, and it's expensive. Online backup covers all devices inside and outside of the central backup universe. It's always automatically off-site. The recovery is quick. It's easy. It can be granularly done, down to the file. It can be delegated to the users. Fundamentally, it's safer, and it also allows worldwide access. We'll get to that in a second, through your browser or through mobile device. And fundamentally, it's more affordable as a solution. The shortcomings delivering traditional backup, delivering backup using traditional, particularly tape backup methods, it's just simply not a good protection of data. Very often, data backups fail. The backups are time-intensive. It's typically not a profit center for IT service firms, and a constant source of customer angst. Having your own branded online backup solution as an IT provider allows you to deploy it very simply to your customers. You can set it and forget it. It allows very flexible deployment options, simplified billing, and it can delegate recovery so that your clients can access their recovery on their own. Fundamentally, what we're going to show you later in the presentation is that with this partner opportunity, you can convert the backup solutions that you're offering from an outdated solution and a source of customer pain into a point of, frankly, a profit center for your business. And what Ken was mentioning earlier in terms of having online backup be fundamentally accessed from the cloud, it is a cornerstone technology for using data in the cloud. Where tape backup and traditional backup was originally just a way to secure data, online backup allows you to secure it, but then also to access and share it. It's a cornerstone technology for cloud computing. Obviously, data is created locally and backed up in the cloud, but with SOS Online Backup, your client's data can be accessed anywhere. And this is a new trend in computing that's catching on, and it's very quickly becoming a requirement. It also allows that data to be shared. Colleagues, friends, family, whatever, the data can be shared relatively easily with any device in the world that can connect to the internet. Ken, you want to talk about our features?
Yes, certainly. So I think it's an important distinction between SOS and any of the other online backup companies out there who play in this space is that a lot of online backup companies are focused on what we call protect, which is just basic backup and recovery. But since the very beginning of SOS, we've focused on, our product strategy has been much broader than that. We've looked at originally protect, access, and share with the three pillars of our product strategy. We've recently added